it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. This is the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to the Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project, where we will be doing the second mock draft. If you haven't heard our free agency recap, go and listen to it. What are you doing? Without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get started. If you can watch, which you can on Spotify, also YouTube, and literally any other platform than Apple Podcasts or anything like that, give us a watch. You can watch on screen. If not, we're going to describe exactly what's going on. Ben, you are going to be starting this off with odd numbers, and I will be getting even numbers in the first round. So what you got for me, buddy?
Yeah, first mock draft that we've done with the Panthers at number 1. We have them taking quarterback, and if it was me making the selection, I probably would take Bryce Young. But we're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it funky. We're going to take Anthony Richardson.
Hey, I like it. All right.
Yes.
Anthony Richardson.
Give Frank Reich a guy to develop.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Will. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go ahead and pick Bryce Young here too.
Texans are happy, ecstatic that they were able to get the #1 cornerback in this class at the second overall pick. Yeah. So if you're the Cardinals, you really have to be thinking about trading out of this. We're not doing trades in this mock draft. We're just doing a simple 1 round, no trades. But if you're the Cardinals, I can almost pretty much guarantee you guys, the listeners watching, that they will not be picking at this come draft night. That being said, you take the easy pick. Give me Will Anderson.
All right. The Colts are on the clock here, and they're going to pick up C.J. Stroud, which they are ecstatic about having at 4, especially because nobody traded ahead of them for 3. So.
Yes, this is where it really gets.
Draymond Jones too. So
they did. This is where it gets tough though, because you have to have the conversation of whether or not if all the legals and everything is worth it with Jalen Carter. But there's also another very good edge rusher on the board right now. And do you take the chance with Jalen Carter, or do you take at least a solid pick that doesn't have legal stuff going on? Yeah, give me Tyree Wilson. I think that's a safe pick to make right now.
All right, the Lions are on the clock here. This is tough. Oh boy. Looking in, you've got a couple really solid corner options. That secondary needed some help. And I personally think that with Justin Fields getting a weapon as well, you need somebody to be able to cover a little bit more space in the backfield. You've already covered a little bit of edge rusher, and I'm predicting that they cover a little bit more of their defensive line later on in the draft or later on in free agency. However, it's going to be Devon Witherspoon here out of Illinois and not Christian Gonzalez compared to popular belief. Anyways.
Maybe it's because Christian Gonzalez Gonzo is the best CB in the class. It's this again. If you guys, I know we're going to zoom through this a little bit, but over on the main episodes we put out for you guys, we covered draft and stuff, and the cornerback class is going to be really tight. The top 3 guys are probably within 5 spots of each other on at least my big board. So it's a really, really, really good top end cornerback class. So any team that needs one that's picking within top 15 picks are, you really can't go wrong with any of the top 3 guys there. That being said, the Raiders kind of got Jimmy G. They're not forced into having to take Will Levis here if he doesn't really, suit their cup of tea, which I would be really surprised if Will Levis suits their cup of tea, because Josh McDaniels likes the distributor guy, the guy that doesn't have to go out and make the big arm throws. So it makes sense why Jimmy G was their guy. So I'm not going to go Will Levis here. That probably shocked some people here. Bears fans are going to be mad. I'm taking Paris Johnson here.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm sorry, Bears fans, but I need help on the offensive line. And that was the most comfortable pick I felt. I will say I almost went Gonzo, Christian Gonzalez with that pick.
Yeah.
So
the Falcons, they went and got Taylor Heineke. They also drafted a quarterback last year, which they're still trying to develop and see whether or not that's the guy or not. I think Will Levis will continue to fall here. But they do need another wide receiver option. They're also looking at different edge rushers as well. I think that Van Ness going at 8 is a little early. Quentin Johnston, though, is looking pretty nice here at 8, though. I'm going to go here for the Falcons picking up Quentin Johnston.
Back-to-back first rounders with wide receivers. If you don't, that's one heck of a way to – that's one heck of a way to surround your young quarterback, whether that's
speedy
Ritter
too.
This year or
they really
else.
are.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Drake London and Johnson. Yeah.
If you're the Bears, you have to take your other tackle here. Again, that's was, if you're the Bears, it kind of sucks to see that Paris went off the board, but there's another elite tackle in this class. It's Peter. It's the easy pick to make. Peter Skorowski from Northwestern. So
fair enough. I guess I won't screw up yours.
I so badly. I was obviously I wanted Slay back, but I was so hyped for Christian Gonzalez at the 10th overall pick, and I was like, Christian Gonzalez. But now it's awesome because now it opens up the board. Now we don't have to take it. We could take edge rusher. We could take Cansey. We could take even Brian Branch if CJ doesn't go back. That's probably where my head's at, but I don't know the way you do.
I know. That's what I'm thinking too, is that CJ's gone. So I'm going to play out that hypothetical and pick Brian Branch just because of that. Your edge rushers, they haven't really left. So, and you drafted a defensive interior guy in the first round last year. So why do it again? Picking up a safety here at 10.
Yeah. Carter is falling.
Hard too.
Yes, he is. I don't know. At some point, you have to be the Titans, and you have to say, I'm taking the best player available. And I'm going to do it. I know they have Jeffrey Simmons, but that interior on the defensive line would be absolutely wild with Jeffrey Simmons and Jalen Carter. And I know it's not a need, and I know they could go with wide receiver. They could go, no, I lied. We're not doing it. We're taking Will Levis here at 11.
I like that more. That's what I was going to say. I do think that the Texans won't let Jalen Carter fall anymore.
Oh, there's no way D'Amico Ryan will. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying Jalen Carter here at 12.
Christian Gonzalez, too, is having a little bit of a fall of grace. Jets don't need him, though. I don't think this will end up belonging to the Jets. I think this ends up being a Niners pick, Packers pick. But right now it is the Jets pick. And whoever that quarterback is, we got to help protect him. So we're going to take, I would say, the last of the top 3 tackles in this class before there's a little bit of a drop-off, and Broderick Jones.
All right. So the Patriots, right, they started looking at oh man, the quarterback situation looks a little murky right now, but I don't see that being a crazy need right now, especially because Tanner McKee looks like he's the best one on the board somehow. Not only that, I think the stars are starting to align. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba falls here just because Jacoby Myers just signed a deal with Vegas, and so they need another wide receiver, and that's going to be the guy.
I honestly, I think that was a great pick. Even if it was Jacoby Myers that re-signed there, I still think Jackson Smith and Jigba would have been the pick there. He fits right into that offense. But I've said this throughout the entire process here that if Lucas Van Ness makes it to 15, that's the latest he will go. Lucas Van Ness does not get past the Packers. This is absolutely up their wheelhouse. This is a guy that they've drafted time and time and time again. If Lucas Van Ness is at the 15th pick come draft night, he will be a Packer. I can guarantee it. Oh, gosh, I would cry. Oh.
What's that?
Christian Gonzalez, because they have a need there at corner too.
Who? Washington?
Yes, Washington has a huge need. They have nobody at corner. I don't know. That's why we're on PFF. I question PFF's because they have the Eagles number one need as wide receiver, and I can tell you as a fan in the division, the Washington Commanders absolutely have no one to cover at all. They have no one to play outside cornerback. This would suck.
Let's go ahead and draft him then, huh? Gonzo here at 16.
That would suck. I don't.
Surprised that he fell this far. In all honesty, Gonzalez or Witherspoon could kind of alternate. So, I mean, we'll see who the Lions go with there.
Well, and I could see the Raiders taking. I could see the Falcons taking them. There are a lot of teams up there that could take them. I just think this is the way that the draft played out in this scenario. That's a beautiful thing about mocks is they're all different. That being said, there's not really a tackle on the board here. I like Osiris Torrance, but I make that pick every single time. I told you guys I had 3 cornerbacks within the top 15, and we're going to take another cornerback here. Give me Joey Porter.
I love that for the Steelers too.
It's awesome. That move. Yeah, awesome for them, right? Because they're his dad. So
yeah. So if you're the Lions, you're looking at this being like, wow, Kalijah Cansey's here. We decided not to go with Jalen Carter. So we're going to go ahead and patch that up really quick. Get Kalijah Cansey here at 18.
The poor Bucks, everything on offense, basically outside a wide receiver. I mean, I just talked about how I was thinking about going with Osiris Torrance with the Steelers. And there's a huge need for them. There's a huge need for interior offensive line for the Bucks, and I think Osiris Torrance is the best interior offensive lineman in this class. So plug and play immediately. Give me Osiris Torrance at 19. I can't believe they have him at 39 on PFF. Ugh.
All right. So looking at the Seahawks. I'm thinking that this might be a little bit weird because edge rushers on the board, but they did pick up Tyree Wilson. So I'm thinking, hey, they had a pretty solid corner that was a rookie, and not only that, but maybe it would be cool to have 2 good ones that are pretty young. And Deonte Banks is on the board here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick them up.
Nice. Speed. I'm talking about the Chargers pick. It's a pick I'll make. I don't like making the same pick every single time, but this is just one of those picks that I will make every single time. Give me Zay Flowers to the Chargers at 21.
So the Ravens here, they're looking at this pick like, wow, we can do a couple things here. Jordan Addison is available, but you've also got a couple solid edge options available at 22 with Nolan Smith and Miles Murphy. If you look at the defensive side as well, you're like, wow, I mean, we just paid Roquan Smith Adding a solid edge rusher here could be pretty filthy. As much as wide receiver is a need here, as of right now, there's a lot of pretty okay wide receiver options on the market. If you bring back Lamar, there's a solid chance you can also bring back another wide receiver as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select Nolan Smith here to the Ravens, just to bulk up that defense just a little bit more and say screw you to Lamar for right now.
Everyone in that division is now absolutely scared because now they have three very, very, very good young edge rushers in David Ajabo, Dafe Owe, and Nolan Smith. And they all can switch out and they all play the same role and are all the same body types to one another. If one gets hurt, the other two are going to be right behind them and all fit in. That would be a very scary rotation. And the real NASCAR could be played with these three guys. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the podcast. That being said, I can't talk. I almost said the Raiders. The Vikings went out and paid someone, but they only paid him for 1 year. And I think that was because they had a plan and they really like an edge rusher in this class. And they kind of want someone to sit back behind Davenport for a year and learn from him, and then we'll fill in for Davenport's spot. And I've said it time and time again, Miles Murphy's ceiling is Danielle Hunter. So who better for Danielle Hunter Jr. to learn from? Danielle Hunter. So give me Danielle Hunter, pick 23 here for the Vikings. Or not Danielle Hunter. Miles Murphy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I was late threw me off. I'm like,
guys. It's 12. It's midnight, 12:30 my time, guys. But yes, Miles Murphy is baby Danielle Hunter at his peak. I'm not saying he will be, but if Miles Murphy turns into the player that he can be, I see Danielle Hunter.
Just out of curiosity, let's see what PFF says that the Jaguars could do. Cam Smith, huh?
Bam Bam Cam. They did just release Shaq. Gosh dang
Shaq Leonard.
Shaq Griffin. That's his name.
Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, is there a corner that's on the? Okay. I mean, yeah. Let's go ahead and do it then. Cam Smith.
Nice. Yeah, well, Jordan Addison is here still, which is wild, and Giants fans are very, very happy. Hopefully they can get their wide receiver one, and Jordan Addison.
Dalton Kincaid has fallen, and Dalton Schultz has left.
Yes.
And so that has told me strictly that the Cowboys need that. But they also have Brian Breesy. But here's a little bold take for you. They just released Zeke. So I think they're going Bijan here at 26 because of Tony Pollard and his injury. It's plug and play Bijan. Well, why not? Mike McCarthy said, hey, I'd like to run the ball a little bit more. And they said, hey, here's Bijan. How about that?
That's what I'm scared of, man. He's a perfect fit there too. And it stays in Texas. Going to a run-heavy team. Pollard's on a franchise tag, so like I said, you split the backfield, but Pollard walk. I think that's the same pick I had in mock 1. I would hate to see this happen because Bijan is my favorite prospect. That being said, I know it says guard and center there for Buffalo, but they did just go out and sign Connor McGovern in free agency. So now. Yeah, so now they're in a position to really take whoever they want. If Bijan made it one pick farther, I probably would have picked Bijan here. Now I'm in a really tough situation here. Dang, you're pretty disappointed if you're the Bills fans because you wanted Bijan to get to you. That being said, I'm going to do it. We are going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. I think you're in a position of luxury to be able to do that. So I'm going to do, And I would have probably taken a safety there, but they signed Jordan Poyer back in free agency as well, so they didn't have the need for it either.
So the Bengals got their premier tackle. If you live under a rock and you haven't seen the news, listen to our podcast. With that being said, Brian Breezy is the pick here for the Bengals, because why not? So they need that defensive interior fixed up as well. So Saints, what are you doing, man?
You got to go edge here. You really, I know Saints fans that are really just wanting to edge. The question is, what edge do I take here? Could you go to the edge list?
Yep. There we go.
McDonald. As much as I don't want to see this guy come off the board at 30, because I'm a really big fan of him. I'm a fan of BJ, and I'm also a fan of BJ Ojolari. But also I'm a fan of the Northwestern kid. And that's why we would really like at 30. But I don't think he's going to get there to 30 because I think the Saints are going to scoop him up. Adbare, I think is how you pronounce it, but I could be wrong.
All right. So the Eagles are on the clock here.
There's no need. See, this is why PFF makes me so mad. We don't need a wide receiver. We don't need a guard, and we drafted a center in the second round last year. PFF, go away, please. You're not good.
Ah, man.
Next thing they're going to tell you is we need a tight end or something. They're so bad.
What I'm thinking is, though, you did just lose TJ Edwards.
Yeah, but we have Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean, yeah. Okay. I was going to give you Jack Campbell. Or Drew Sanders.
It's your pick. It is your pick. You do with it what you want.
I'm just overall confused because I'm struggling to find a hole.
Well, I think it's important to note that edge is getting old. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up taking like a D tackle here at 30. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up, I don't know off the top of my head what cornerbacks are on the board, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up taking a cornerback because while while Darius Slay is coming back, it is only for 1 year. And they are really big fan. Wow, this was really picked through, huh?
That's why I'm like, I'm not entirely sure. As far as edge rushers go,
they're getting old. Well, not old, but they play a weird defense where they do need 2 starting defensive ends and
2 D tackles.
They have 2 defensive ends, but then Reddick plays linebacker, so they do need like another defensive end. The boys love Mozzie Smith, but I would cry if Mozzie Smith was a pick.
I'm gonna give you Mozzie Smith here because of the run D.
Oh, we really have no pass rush on the interior now with Jordan Davis and Mozzie Smith. That being said, we're gonna make my pick easy now. We're gonna go with another edge rusher. Yes, we're gonna go with an edge rusher. They just released
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark. We're gonna do a dude who fills in that nice, linebacker defensive end role. A dude I just talked about at 29. Give me BJ Ojolari.
All right, so that is our second mock draft. Normally I run through it, but if you listen all the way through, you already know who the picks are. So, just go ahead and listen back. It's late. I'm sure everybody understands. I think I'm just going to keep doing this from now on. Listen through the mock draft if you want to know who your team picked. Don't skip all the way to the end because of recap and everything like that. That and PFF seems to be glitching out. That does it a lot. So, anyways, without further ado, that is the second mock draft that the Pigskin Project has picked out. There's about 6 more to go, ladies and gents, until it is draft time. So stay tuned. Lots of news coming up soon. Lots of plans for the podcast. So, stay posted. But, stay safe, everybody. This has been the Pigskin Project for this week, and we'll see you guys next week.